take a year or so before you can actually come down on exactly what you can do together. But the important thing is that industries must acknowledge the fact that faculties or scientists who are not going to immediately understand your problem as soon as in the first meeting. So it does require a couple of meetings. I can tell you, although we work on extremely fundamental science, none of my students have ever worked on applied research project. 4 of my students are working for companies right now. One is working for Unilever, another one is working for L'Oreal, another one is working for Merico, and another one is working for DuPont. They are all doing purely applied research, but they have used the knowledge that is trained, given to the students. What do we train? In a PhD program, for us, it's not really giving them publications. It is more about, given a problem, how to solve that problem. Where do you start to solve the problem? How do you dissolve a problem into smaller problems? How do you start addressing them each one, in which order? And therefore you can find a solution in the long term in a target. And that's what we try to train them. And therefore our students are equally suitable for any kind of research problem related to their expertise around, for example, chemistry or physics or biology. I mean, we have students in all these areas who are working in different research projects. So the institute students are well trained towards working in industries. And what industrial partners have to realize is it only that you need to kind of give them the initial start to say what is expected of them, and therefore with their knowledge and experience how they can push the industry forward. And I hope the experience today meeting with the students has been very useful to you, and I'm proud of the institute and proud of the students, and we'll continue to do as well as we can, and of course better, like Professor Raghunandan said, so that the future of industry-institute relationship grows so much better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Umapathy. This is just one example. There are many, many faculty members in different departments who have students like that. So this is only an example. Then we have the Center for Nanoscience and Engineering, which may be the youngest department in the institute, but we should say this is one center which could be compared with any center anywhere in the world, either it is Stanford, Berkeley, or Cornell, anywhere. And we have the chairman of the department, Professor Rudra Pratap. He will say something about the facilities available, the students' training, how the industries and R&D laboratories like DRDO can come and use this facility. Incidentally, he is also an entrepreneur. I2N company. Rudra Pratap.
Good evening. Thank you, Professor Mohan. Congratulations to all of you, our students, for organizing such a marvelous meet. Just 2 weeks before this meet happened, we organized an industry meet at our own center where we advertised SAMANWAY at the end of the meet. And the idea of the industry meet that you have, the industry meet that we had, is not very different. Of course, we were looking at getting industries involved in our life. As Professor Mohan mentioned, we have built a center which compares with any center in the world. As a matter of fact, if you excuse me for saying that, I have been challenging my students that if you find a better facility in anywhere in the world, better facility than what we provide here, I'll write a check, personal check for you to get education there. That's the kind of confidence I have in the kind of facilities we have created. While creating such a facility, we have probably broken every single rule that prevents you from doing such major things. So how did we break those rules? We have not done anything illegal at all. We made new rules and we forced everybody along the way, whether it was funding agency or whether it was Indian Institute of Science, to amend the rules to accommodate the aspirations of modern generation of students and faculty. That's what we need to do. We do not need to just play along with whatever has been coming for last 100 years. We did not interact with industry before. We always thought that, oh, industry is somewhere there. Industry thinks that, oh, these guys are always thinking blue sky research. There is nothing here of practical value that we can do with them. These limiting cases have been discussed always. There is one limiting case where you think that, oh, these are two divergent things, don't meet. Another limiting case is where industry gets into your skin so much that you are not training intellectuals, you are training technicians. And that's not right either. In between, Indian Institute of Science provides a way to train intellectuals that can drive the industry of tomorrow. And that's what our central business is. Our output is your input. Please remember that. Our output, we have two kinds of output from institutions like this, or educational institutions. Physical output that goes out of the door are our young minds, well-trained, well-heeled. Intellectual output is all in research papers that Professor Umapathy talked about. It's there for industry to see if it is useful, not useful, what is it useful today, tomorrow, whatever. So our output is your input. If you want to have some say in your input, you got to interact with us. You got to get into our life. How will you get into our life? Getting into anybody's life requires investment of time and money both. All of you, at least the young people know here, that if you want to get into somebody's life, you take them out for a movie or a dinner or something. There is money involved, there is time involved. And it's no different for industries either. Please, we are welcoming you. Get involved in our lives. That's what we have done at Center for Nanoscience and Engineering. We have invited companies as industry. That's not what we do. We make intellectuals. We make people who figure out what the problem is. We don't make people who are told every day, this is the problem, now fix it. So, our strength is in teaching people or in training our students to be the highest possible thinkers that you can get. And that's what we will give to you. Okay? That's what we will hand over. Now, if you think that in that process we need to modify things, we are all ears. We are listening. We will do anything for you. Thank you very much.